Hello. I hope everything is going well. Um, I'm excited to stream. Hopefully, you can all hear my audio okay because I changed my audio input this time and I boosted up the sound so that maybe you can hear me a little bit better because I went back and watched the last live stream and the audio was a little quiet. So I'll also try to talk louder too, and hopefully that will solve some of the problems. But if anyone has any issues being able to hear me, just let me know. I just want to say before we start, I love this time of year. It's cold enough in the mornings to have to wear a jacket, but it gets hot enough that I have to take it off. And this jacket I love because I can scrunch it up and put it in my backpack. For those who may be tuning in for the first time, the park that I'm at a park, has free Wi-Fi, so I try to stream live from here and see how it goes. I also love it because this is the first day of school for a lot of people in Utah, where I'm at. I'm near a local high school, and I heard the drum line going this morning. I just love this time of year. I love when it starts getting cooler. I love when school starts. I love the kind of jacket weather in the morning, but it's still not too cold yet. And we're getting closer to autumn, which is my favorite season. So just wanted to point that out. And if you haven't gotten outside and you're in part of the world where there's beautiful weather, get outside because it's wonderful. Okay, but let's go ahead and start talking about ChatGPT. I wanted to, and let me just double check. Yeah, we're sharing okay. I wanted to point something out. I use ChatGPT for my personal scripture study, so a lot. And it was useful just this morning, so I thought that I would point this out. I had a post about what it means to accept a prophet's claims or a religious person's claims, what Jesus Christ meant by the fruit. You shall know them by their fruits. And so I had ChatGPT as a part of my post. I wrote this post myself. I did not have ChatGPT write this post. But as part of my research, I linked to a deep research report on what the meaning of fruits means in Matthew 7, 15 through 20, and what it means to recognize a false prophet. And so, as you can see here, it went through and talked about different Christians' interpretations throughout time, including early Christians after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and the death of many of his apostles. And then I specifically asked it to go through, and I gave it a specific link to search through, and I said, well, what about leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is what I'm a part of. And then I had it output a bullet point list at the end to give me a nutshell. So this was really useful. One thing that I'll just point out really quickly as well is that I think that I don't just think this. There's been research at MIT, and I could pull this up if you want to, but you could just look up MIT ChatGPT and essay writing, and you'll find the study. You'll be able to read the abstract for yourself, and it's very thorough. Doesn't have a huge sample size, but they did brain scans of the individuals a part of the study. But that using ChatGPT to write for you, which I did not do in that example, is one way that may decrease your critical thinking and retention of the information that you learn, as well as other negative effects. And that just makes sense, right? If you even think before AI and ChatGPT, generative AI and all that, if you were to go and just ask your teacher a question, right, you don't remember it as well as if you were to put in the work to find the answer yourself. And I could go on and on about this because I have written about this, and if you want to know, I'll just quickly point out. So I have a Facebook page where I write random thoughts sometime, and mostly spiritual thoughts, but there are, I'll just search for it real quick and see if it comes up. Okay, here we go. So if you want to pause the screen and read this, you can, but here's something that I've written about maybe why ChatGPT, just giving you a quick answer, doesn't help you to actually remember the information that you need to remember. Okay, anyway, so what's an alternative to that? Well, you could try, and I've only tried this a little bit, but you could try study mode. Study and learn here in ChatGPT, and what it's supposed to do is more give you like quiz questions or guide you through finding the answer rather than just give you a quick answer. So if I was to ask, how do parabolas, I don't even know how to spell that. Let's say, how do, I don't know, we'll just say, teach me about basic geometry. Wow, I can't spell, but it should still know. Anyway, it's going to go through, probably ask me some questions first to say, you know, what is it specifically that you're looking for, but it's giving me some basic thoughts. And then it will go through and guide me through, you know, a learning process for this. And so it's really good for like, at least I haven't tried it a ton, but the little bit that I've tried it, it's supposed to be good at being able to like walk you through finding your own answers rather than just giving you a quick answer. I think this is a great step in the right direction. I think that it's often a shortcut to have ChatGPT just do the work for you when a part of your own learning and growth, especially if that's your purpose behind it, is learning and growing and retaining information yourself. So especially with school starting, this might be a nice useful tip for some of you to try out study mode. And by the way, if you do try out study mode, I would love to know what you learn specifically. What is it that is helpful? What is it that's not helpful? What features do you wish it had? Because I'm genuinely interested. So hopefully the way that I use ChatGPT to do this deep research report here was augmenting and helping me. I don't necessarily want to remember what the early Christian scholars thought about fruits, but I do want a quick list to go along, backed up by good research, to go along with the post that I had written and put in the work to think about myself. So hopefully that was a good balance of not having ChatGPT do the work for me, but to augment the work that I was already doing. And I think that's an example of where ChatGPT can help in your learning, right? I think an example that people, I've heard people give multiple times is a calculator, right? We have a calculator now, so let's use it to augment us being able to increase our math skills rather than having it do everything for us. We still want to have some basic reasoning and math skills ourselves, right? So I think that's a great way to use ChatGPT, is augment what you want to do. And if you really genuinely don't care about retaining the information, you just want a quick answer, then don't worry about it. Just use ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or whatever you want to use. Get a quick answer and then go from there. Okay, I'm just going to quickly check in to see if anybody is watching this, because that might influence where I go next. So let's see. Here. Then don't worry about it. Just use. Yeah, okay, and the audio seems to be working. Okay, there's one person watching. Can't tell if that's me or not. So I'm going to move forward with where we picked up last time. But I may show more of those examples at the end of this live stream of how I used ChatGPT in particular, but AI this week, Perplexity as well, to help me, and hopefully that inspires or is helpful to others as well. So we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into where we picked up last time, which is, I saved it here, a scripture study app. Speaking of scripture study, that I had it code last time. So I'll just quickly recap. I had, let's see if I can find the criteria here. I had an idea of an app, right? So it's saying create an iOS app, and have it automate my listening plan for things that I like to listen to for my scripture study, including general conference talks. If you don't know what general conference is, it is talks from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You can, let's see, learn more. Usually I think there's a page to learn more about General Conference, but it's a worldwide conference of the church. But anyway, Come Follow Me, which is a scripture study manual that we use, and are supposed to also include Liahona articles. So anyway, we'll see how well this did. It may not have listened quite to everything that I wanted, but that's okay, because we're just going to test it and see how it works. So it went ahead and developed this app for me. Let's see if I can find the actual response here. Okay, so we had multiple versions, but here we go. Here's one of them. It's Swift code for an iOS, and it just coded this whole app for me. Now, I don't expect it to work out of the box, and I don't even know how to deploy this. I'm not a developer or a coder. Hey, speaking of back to school, I'll just mention quickly, I was talking to a young man that's going into 7th grade yesterday at a neighborhood party that we went to. We went to a little neighborhood get-together at a neighbor's house. And this young man said that he's taking a Python class in 7th grade. Python is a coding language, if you don't know that. And I just commended him on like, hey, that's great. The coding is a wonderful skill to learn. And one thing that I've heard multiple times is coding and developing really an important skill to learn anymore, because AI can write all this code for you? And I'll quickly tell you what I told him. And that is, if I was to have ChatGPT write a wonderful report to me, but I didn't know how to read, or I didn't know how to write, or I didn't know good grammar, or I was only at a 3rd grade or 2nd grade reading level, is it going to be very useful for ChatGPT to write a report for me? And I think the answer to that is no, it's not. And so it's very similar with code. I don't know, and I want to learn better. I don't know how to read all this code, and I'm going to try my best to vibe code without knowing that. But if I knew, right, and I know the basics here, like I know that this is we're using like JavaScript and HTML here, so I know a little bit about this JavaScript up here, and then we switch to HTML over here for the front end development, and I know I know enough about HTML to know that this whole section is one section in a div. It's the heading, and then we go into the main section, and I can understand a little bit of this, but if I understood this more, I could actually go in and tweak some of these things myself if I needed to, and understand better how to prompt it to troubleshoot. And so yes, learning coding is still valuable, and I actually am going to put in work when I can. Let's see if I get the time to actually learn coding better myself, and maybe use ChatGPT to do that. Maybe use that ChatGPT study mode, right, to try to learn how to code a little bit better, so that I can better vibe code simple solutions that I need. So anyway, but we're going to try, even without my great coding knowledge, because I don't know very much on code, to try to see if we can get this to work. So it wrote all this great code, and then I said, and this is just a recap of last time, probably going too much into my recap of last time, hey, so I don't really know how to do this. How do I actually now take your code and implement it? And so it told me to download Xcode, which I started doing last time, and I started doing some of these steps. I think I left off on step 3 right here, and I did this all within this last week before next time. So here is Xcode right here, and I'm on step 3. So this is fun. You're gonna follow along with me in this adventure of just trying to use AI to vibe code and deploy the solution and see if it works. And for somebody who has very little coding knowledge, we're going to see how well we can do at this. Okay, so in Xcode, do file, new, file, and then Swift file named Apple Bundle Swift. Okay, so we're going to try to go to file, new, and I guess I do an empty file, and we'll just call it Apple Bundle. So I think this is the one that I created. So we'll call this Apple Bundle. Okay, great. So I did that. And then open the Swift code in your canvas. Okay, so I already saved that file, but I'll open it in the canvas like it said. I'm going to open this in a new chat here. Let's go back to that Swift code. Here we go. And we'll copy and paste this like it said. Here's the code that it gave me. Okay. And copy everything under the comments labeled shared modals and utilities, Swift app and scenes. Okay, so where does it say that? Shared. Maybe I'll just ask it. Okay, I'm on step 3. Should I just copy and paste everything? I'm a little confused on what you mean here. By the way, in case you don't know, you can just highlight something just like I did. I'll show you this again in a minute. And then it automatically, as you can see, says, oh, he's talking about this part of my response. And then it will give a response. Now, I'm on ChatGPT 5, like I talked about last time. So it's going to decide how long to think for. It automatically switches the model on the back end. And if I want to just get an answer, I can just get an answer, but we'll see how long this thinks for, because it seems like this is a pretty straightforward answer, so I don't know if it really needs to think for so long, but we'll see how long it thinks. While it's thinking, I'll go back and see what step 4 was, which was make one small tweak to the code. No app group yet. Okay, interesting. This is going to be a process, and I'm excited to do this along with everybody. We're probably not going to get it done today, but then we'll just keep going next time. It's a vibe coding adventure for a personal coding app. Okay, let's see the answer that it gives me. Don't copy everything. For phase 1, you only need the app code. Okay, paste this entire file into your project name dot app. Okay, so do this super simple in Xcode. Delete. Okay, wow, it's giving me. Okay, easiest, replace your project's main file with the single file below and skip to the rest of the copy and paste puzzle. Okay, this Xcode left sidebar. Delete your content view, Swift. Okay, so delete content view. So I'm going to delete that. Okay. Move to trash. We're just doing what it says here. Okay. And then replace everything here. This file already includes the app entry point and all the phase 1, okay? And then press run, okay? So let's try this. So we're just going to copy and paste all of this into here. And then where do we hit run? Oh, is it right here? Is this run? Build failed, okay? So it says 3 issues found. Okay, I want to see. Oh, you know what? It's still it's still writing out what to copy and paste. So of course it's going to fail. Okay, so obviously didn't finish. So we're going to try this again. We'll wait for it to finish generating. It's cool that it's spending this much time just giving me the phase 1 code. Now, to be honest, and I'm just going to be honest here, one question that I have is this worth my time to do all this? And if I wasn't doing a live stream and showing my vibe coding adventures right now, I might say no. And I'm just being honest here because, you know, how much time will this app save me in like this year, next year, the next 3 years? And how much time am I spending vibe coding it? And I don't know. I think it probably will save me, I don't know, maybe like a minute or two every like 3 times a week. So if I was to, let's just overestimate and say 2 minutes times 3, right? And then times 52, and then we times that by 3 years. We'll just go over a 3-year period, divide it by 60 because this is in minutes, and this will save me 15 hours. And so, yeah, okay, it's still worth my time. But if it gets to the point where this takes me over 15 hours to actually vibe code the solution, maybe it's not worth my time. So anyway, that's just something to think about, is what's the ROI in doing this. Okay, so we're going to try again. It's giving me the whole code now. Now we're going to hit run. And it still says build failed. And it says it cannot find content view. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna talk with it and see. Oh, this might, we may have to go to my OBS settings. Sorry for the weird whoa here, but we're gonna mute the desktop audio. We're gonna mute the screen capture. We're just gonna mute everything, and you're just gonna have to hear it through my screen. So sorry if you don't hear this super well. But I think it will reduce the echo. So I'm just going to talk to it out loud and see. Hey ChatGPT, so I've deployed the phase 1 code like you have written. It's great. Thank you so much for doing that. And I hit the play button, which I think is the run button that you wanted me to do, and it said build failed. And the error message is giving me is cannot find content view in scope, because you had told me to delete that content view, right? So help me know what to do to fix this, and then guide me on to the next steps.
Got it. Sounds like we just need to make sure the main app file knows what to show on the screen now that content view is gone. No worries, this is a super easy fix. Basically, when we deleted content view, we also need to make sure our main app entry point is pointing to the new root view, or whatever we've got in that code we pasted. Let's do that real quick. Open your main app file again. It should be named something like your project name AppSwift. Make sure the main struct and its body references the new root view we added. For example, if we used a root view in the code I gave you, the main app file should look like this. In main app, then will be in some group, window group. Make sure we're using the new root view here. Just replace your app name app with your actual app struct name if it's different. Build and run again. This should solve the cannot find content view error because now it knows which view to show as the main interface. That should get you past that little snag. Once you've got it running on your iPhone, you can proceed with the next steps we talked about. Let me know if that helps or if anything else pops up.
Okay, so this is great. Now, let me just refresh this because I want to see the talking to it. Oh, and this sometimes happens, I've noticed with ChatGPT, is you talk to it and then... Oh, okay, no, this is giving me... Okay, this is me talking to it and then this is the answer. So I'm going to say, I don't know, we'll take a screenshot of what I have here, and I don't know if I need to save this before. It probably auto saves, hopefully. I guess we'll see, but I'm just going to take a screenshot of what I have here and see if it will fix it for me. Let's just see if that works. Let's see, attach. Here we'll say, great, here is a screenshot. Do you have what you need to fix the code for me? And it's going to take a minute and think. And by the way, I could go back and forth to see, okay, I'm chatting with it, but I could go back and say, what are the steps that it gave me? It looks like I'm on step 3 right now, and then we'll move on to step 4 after this. Or I could just say, okay, after it gives me this answer, hey, let's move on to step 4 and just have it tell me so I don't have to scroll back and forth, like scroll up to step 4. Okay, so it's saying open the main file, okay, that ends with app.swift. I think that's this. Okay. Great. And you'll see something like this. Change this to root view. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to say, great. Just give me the code that should go in here. And then I'm just going to attach a screenshot so it knows exactly what I'm talking about. So let's say I overestimated, I'm just thinking out loud here, and this really saves me I don't know, 7 hours over the next 3 years. Then I probably don't want to spend more than like 3 hours on this. So I'll probably, and I spend a half an hour in these sessions, I'll probably go like 4 or 5 more of these sessions trying to troubleshoot this. And if I can't get it to work, we'll just move on to something else on my list to do with AI. But now we have the Apple bundle, and then we have this, and let's go ahead and try to hit run and see what happens. Okay. Okay, ChatGPT, now I'm getting the error, main attribute can only apply to one type of module. How do I solve that issue?
That's a common little hiccup. It usually just means there are 2 @main structs in your project. In other words, Xcode's seeing more than one entry point and gets a little confused. Here's how to fix it. Check for another @main struct. You might have an old @main struct hanging around in another eye. Look through your project files and see if there's another struct app with at main somewhere else, remove the extra at main. Once you find the duplicate at main, probably in the old content view or another automatically generated file, you can either delete that file if you don't need it or just remove the at main attribute from it.
Okay, so where do
Keep
I
only
go to find if I have a duplicate?
Sure thing. Let's walk through it step by step so it's easy to spot. Check your file list on the left side of Xcode, the project navigator. This is the area where you see all your Swift files. Look at each file that might have a main entry point. Usually only one file should have the app main keyword. It's typically named something like your app name app Swift. If you see another file that also has at main, like maybe an old content view or another Swift UI struct that was generated, that's your duplicate. Remove at main from the extra file or delete that file if you don't need it.
Okay,
In a
thank
nutshell,
you.
just
I'm
go
gonna
through your Swift.
attach a screenshot and you can help me out.
Absolutely. Feel free to share that screenshot.
Okay, so I'm just gonna attach a screenshot of this whole thing right here because this is what it's telling me to look at, and we'll see what it tells me to do. And again, if I had a background in coding, this would be a lot easier and faster for me. I might even be able to resolve this without going to have to go back and forth with ChatGPT. But I think we'll go ahead and leave off here. For the last couple of minutes, I'm just gonna give you, so we'll just leave off here, pick this up where it is last time. I'm just gonna give you a few tidbits of what I used ChatGPT for this week. Here's some more scripture study stuff. I went on a camping trip and I wanted to refer to where I'd left off on some scripture study stuff. So I had Canvas create this nice document for me that I downloaded as a PDF and then print it off so I could take on my camping trip where I wouldn't have good internet access and I could pick up where I left off on my scripture study. I also used Perplexity to reserve rooms at the library. And what else? I know I had Perplexity do some other browser tasks for me, but I'm not remembering what those were off the top of my head. I thought I had saved it here. I had ChatGPT. Oh, that's right. I had Perplexity go in and create a calendar event on my calendar. We'll see if I can search for this. Here we go. I said, hey, here's a calendar event for me. I went to a Catholic Mass on Sunday. It was great. Long story why I went to a Catholic Mass. I'm not Catholic. But I said, hey, can you put this on my calendar for me and just invite my wife to it? And it basically did that. Very simple. But I didn't have to create the calendar event. I already showed some deep research stuff that I've done with my scripture study. We talked about that at the beginning of the session. And this was interesting, and I want to pick back up here. I had ChatGPT agent mode take over my browser and do some family history tasks for me, and it seemed to do pretty well. But I said, hey, is there like a better way to do this where you don't have to take over my browser? And it did a deep research report for me, and now I'm going to have it try some of the things that it suggests doing and see if it will be more effective for family history. So anyway, those are just some tidbits of things that I did over the last week, and I just wanted to kind of show those off. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, but before I do, I'll just say, please do not subscribe. Don't subscribe unless you really find value with this content. I don't want you to subscribe to this channel. I'm not trying to just increase my subscriber count unless you find value in this and you actually want to ask questions in the comments and have me explore things, because I'll put my app on pause if you have something you want to explore with AI and say, hey, let's try this. This is a problem I'm facing. And then put those in the comments. I will actually devote one of these live streams to helping do that. But if you're not interested in that kind of content, I don't want YouTube to recommend stuff that you're not interested in. So don't subscribe. Please don't subscribe unless you really want to be here. And by the way, part of the reason I say that too is because I'm not interested in increasing my subscriber count. I'm not interested in monetizing this YouTube channel. I'm not interested in the YouTube algorithm feeding this content to people that don't really care about it. I'd rather have 2 or 3 subscribers that actually are going to find value from this content than have 1,000 subscribers that just subscribed because someone told them, hey, subscribe, support me, help me in my channel. So I'll just say that at the end, and have a great day.